Fair warning with this video, we're gonna get real. I wanna be a straight shooter with you. If you're a lawyer struggling to get clients for your law firm, then it's probably because you think you're special. In reality, you're not. I know, I'm coming in a little hot, a little abrasive, but let me explain what I mean with an example. With this example, let's say I'm a personal injury lawyer in a small town, and my only competition is this other personal injury lawyer that we'll call Garrett Rock. And in order to make this more entertaining, let's turn this into Fight Night. Jarrett Stone versus Garrett Rock. So in one corner, you have yours truly. In the other corner, you have the hideous looking Garrett Rock. And the battle is for all the personal injury cases in this small town. At this point, let's see how we match up to see if there's a favorite. For me, my two biggest strengths are that I get great results for clients and that I'm trustworthy. For Garrett Rock, if you go on his website, you'll also see that he gets great results and that he's also trustworthy. Spoiler alert, every lawyer says the same thing. So at this point, there's no clear favorite on who's going to win over potential new clients in this small town. So let's take it a step further. Let's start talking about money. For me, my attorney's fees are 1/3 contingency, or put differently, 33.33%. As for Garrett Rock, his attorney's fees are 1/3 contingency as well. So on paper, from a potential new client's perspective, Garrett Rock and I were evenly matched. We have breaking news right now. It sounds like, are you sure? Okay, we needed to confirm, but it's reported that Garrett Rock is lowering his attorney's fees to 30% contingency. That evil genius. By Garrett Rock reducing his attorney's fees from 1/3 down to 30%, he now seemingly has an advantage over me because he's cheaper. So what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get my clients? I guess I need to one-up him. Instead of going from 1/3 down to 30, I'm gonna go down to 25%. Yeah, that'll give me the competitive advantage over him because people are gonna wanna choose the lawyer that costs less. We're back with another breaking news, and it seems that, are you sure? It seems that Garrett Rock has one-upped Jarrett Stone again. He is reportedly reducing his attorney's fees down to 20% contingency. Back to you. And scene. And scene. I got the clacker thing and the expression thing going on. But terrible acting and terrible jokes aside, I think you can see where this example is going. It's a race to the bottom, and there's not going to be a winner. Believe it or not, the point of this example isn't to show off my incredible acting skills. It's to really illustrate the important concept that if you're hyping yourself up as a lawyer, you're really not special. It's like the Spider-Man meme where Spider-Man's just like pointing at himself in a bunch of different ways. Because if you're hyping yourself up and you're saying that you get great results for clients, you're trustworthy, you don't back down, you work hard for clients, insert any other cliche reason why people should sign up for you, then the client just simply needs to do one Google search to find 100 other lawyers that are saying the exact same thing. You're not special in that regard. It's just noise. I already know that there's a lawyer who just watched what I said and is thinking, yeah, I understand what Jarrett's saying, and I think he's right, but what he's saying doesn't apply to me. I'm still the exception because my best results are still better than other lawyers' best results. And that's why potential new clients should hire me and not the competition. If that's your line of thinking right now, stop it. If verdict results were truly the deciding factors for potential new clients, then the Mark Laniers of the world would have all of the cases and every new startup law firm would fail. But we know that's not true. But before we talk about what is true, let's talk about the concept of awareness first. Because in the example of Jarrett Stone versus Garrett Rock in a small town, I made the assumption that the small town is aware of Jarrett Stone and Garrett Rock. If the small town was not aware of Jarrett Stone, then there's not much of a fight. There's not a fight at all. Garrett Rock wins by default because Garrett Rock, in the eyes of the small town, is the only option. They aren't aware of me. So what's important with the concept of awareness is that it'll get you into the fight. It'll get you into the comparison of you versus another lawyer as an option, but it won't win the fight for you. I know this because I don't advertise in order to get my clients, and I still get clients despite them seeing billboard lawyers every single day. So awareness isn't the end all be all. It's just something that allows you to be an actual option for consideration. Keeping with the theme of fight night, and because my sense of humor is super corny, I'm gonna say this. Here is the punchline, which is the fact that you are not special is the solution to getting more clients.
What? What?
I know, things still aren't super clear. I'm having to lay a lot of foundation, but in order to make things clear, let's go back to our example and I'll really illustrate what you should be doing differently. That Evil Genius, by Garrett Rock reducing his attorney's fees from 1/3 down to 30%, he now seemingly has an advantage over me because he's cheaper. So what am I supposed to do? Branding. Branding is the solution, but not in the way that you're thinking. This entire video and the solutions that I'm ultimately going to lead you to are being inspired by this book that I just read. For the Culture, the Power Behind What We Buy, What We Do, and Who We Want to Be, written by Marcus Collins. Definitely recommend it for anyone who wants to start reframing the concept of branding. To start that reframing, I'll give you a little bit of a teaser. It says, far too often, we tend to think of branding as an executional activity. Logos, colors, monikers, as opposed to an ideological exploration. That's because our view of branding is far too narrow. Brands are signifiers that conjure up thoughts and feelings about a company, product, or entity, and they can unlock opportunities for leaders to catalyze collective behavior when they are ideologically aligned with the collective. Boiled down, people choose brands as a way to signify to others, this is who I am. This is my identity. Here's an important distinction that we need to start making as lawyers in this profession. Audiences buy products because of their function. Congregations buy products as evidence of their beliefs. Let's go ahead and put our lawyer lenses on, because from a lawyer's perspective, if most of your potential new clients are falling under this audience category, then those potential new clients see you as just a product, as just a commodity. And when people just see something as a commodity that they have no emotional connection to, then yeah, they want to get the most bang for their buck. That's when you're going to run into situations of running or racing to the bottom, or you're going to have to deal with comparison with all the other lawyers that they're finding on Google. And then you're having to stand out in a bunch of noise in a very oversaturated market. On the flip side, if a potential new client sees themselves when they look at you, then who better to represent them? You're an extension of what they stand for. Put differently, if people are connecting with you and aligning with you as a human being, then the race to the bottom and that concern of comparison isn't really going to happen. It's not something that you're going to have to fight. We know this with designer clothes. Yes, somebody could go get a shirt for super cheap, but we also know that a lot of people spend a lot of money on designer clothes, not only to buy the product, but maybe more importantly, buy the message that is associated with the brand, because the consumer wants to send the same message to anybody that sees that consumer wearing that designer shirt or shorts or whatever. In that situation, it's all about the message of who that person is. The person is trying to show and express their identity by connecting with the brand. So the question is, what do you need to do as a lawyer to brand yourself? And the answer is, stop being a lawyer, be a human. I really lucked into making this realization fairly early on after becoming licensed, and it probably came from me feeling really uncomfortable with how I was being introduced to new friends. I would be in a social event and a friend would say, "Hey, so-and-so, this is my friend Jarrett Stone. He's a lawyer." And it always felt so awkward because it's like, why did that last part have to be mentioned? And so I would think about it, I would reflect on it, and then I made a realization of what was going on. It was always friend first, lawyer second. The friend first helped orient and put in perspective that I was within this circle. People have their circle because they connect to some degree with other people within the circle. They see themselves to some degree by saying, we have this in common, we have this in common. That's why I associate with you, right? It's our friend group that helps define us because we're connecting and associating with those people. So by that first part of the introduction, this is my friend Jarrett, it tells the total stranger who's also a friend to the person who's introducing me that, oh, there may be some overlap in what Jarrett's about and what this, new person is about. He just happens to be a lawyer as well. And so the connection is never going to be, hey, this is Jarrett Stone, he's a lawyer, to somebody who's not a lawyer, right? Like there's no connection. What is the overlap supposed to be? And that's, I think, the issue that a lot of lawyers run into when they're trying to market for new clients. Every lawyer is saying they're a lawyer. Of course you're a lawyer. If I'm landing on a lawyer website, I expect you to be a lawyer. I really took this to heart whenever I started. I think it was Instagram was the first like real presence I tried to make on social media. At no point have I ever created a Stone Firm PLLC, my law firm, Instagram page. It's always just been my own personal Instagram page that I've been growing. And I don't limit myself to just topics about law because nobody wants to really follow a lawyer because the lawyer is really hard to connect with, right? Like I want to connect as a human, as a non-lawyer with other people, and then I just happen to be the lawyer that they think of whenever they potentially need me. Here are two examples that come to mind for me on how I used Instagram in order to be a human first, lawyer second. Whenever I first started my Instagram page, I decided I was going to get into photography. I'd always been interested in doing that as a kid. I kind of dabbled with photography whenever I was in a yearbook class, but I never really took that in stride. But I figured, let's just see how it goes. Instagram is all about photography at that time. And so I'm going to go ahead and just start seeing if I can take some fire photos. And guess what? I ended up having a great time connecting with a lot of people. By the time I went solo, I ended up reaching out to a lot of the Texas photographers. I'm like, hey, I just made a post about me starting my own law firm. Do you mind sharing that? And it's like, yeah, totally. Notice what's going on here. I'm a photographer in their mind first, who happens to be a lawyer. We connect on photography because that's what we have aligned together. And whenever I needed something, for example, like a shout out of going solo, they were happy to do it because we had that connection. That connection is a way for them to back me, right? By them posting or reposting something that I had posted, that's them vouching for me. They're only vouching for me because they align with what I'm aligned with in that context. I can take it from photography to like even the smallest thing most recently, which was like 2 weeks ago on Instagram. You can follow me. I'll provide a link down below if you just want to see what I'm doing. But I posted on my story how I love the show Upload. It's on Amazon. It's an Amazon original. I'm all about it. But I feel like nobody's ever talking about that show. I felt like I was like on an island here about enjoying this show. And so I posted that on an Instagram story. Again, it goes away in 24 hours. I wasn't trying to make waves. I had so many people respond and send me messages like, I watch the show all the time. You're right. Nobody ever talks about it. And it was just like this little bit of a subculture starting to form of all these people reaching out, saying the exact same thing. And then now, whenever new episodes pop up, people are like, hey, did you watch the new episode? And we're talking about that. Again, human first, lawyer second. And if they're associating me with, for example, a new show or a new episode that pops up, then that's like free association, right? Like that's not something I have to retarget in advertising in order to be top of mind. No, they align with me on a certain topic, which is the particular show. They associate me with it, and it's just, free advertising if you want to look at it that way. And then it's a connection that's being made, and I just happen to be a lawyer. And if they end up needing me, great, let me know. If you end up not needing me, even better, because I don't want you to need me. That means something bad probably happened in your life. Let's take me out of the equation. Let's look at, upper echelon, what the big dogs are doing. Ryan Reynolds, Aviation Gin. He's an actor. He had, but I think sold, Mint Mobile, which is like a telecommunication company. And, soccer team. Those 4 things. No relation with them at all. Like there is no overlap in material there, but the glue that holds all those things together, Ryan Reynolds, his name, his brand, and you can't help but root for Ryan Reynolds because Ryan Reynolds is awesome, right? He's hilarious. He's had fantastic success. What you don't see Ryan Reynolds doing is what a lot of lawyers do. You don't see Ryan Reynolds saying, yeah, buy this gin because I'm an awesome actor. Go see my movie. Here are my results with previous movies. Go and root for this soccer, team because I'm X, Y, and Z. No, he doesn't do that. It's all about association. Now, again, there's this awareness issue that I teased earlier. If people don't know you, then how are they going to root for you? And then ultimately, how are they going to connect with you? And how are they going to basically, see the brand that you are and align with you? So part of this is just going and meeting and connecting with people on a human level. If your passion in life outside of being a lawyer is gardening, then go join some gardening networks or, hop on #gardening for Instagram and start connecting with people. And in doing so, you'll be the person who knows their stuff with gardening, hopefully, that happens to be a lawyer. Yeah, that last part got away from me a little bit. I wasn't expecting to talk for that long, but I blacked out. I hope it made sense. If it did, hit the like button. Here's the big takeaway. Your legal services and skills are the product, and it's your humanity that's the brand. Stop being such a lawyer. Stop being so focused on bragging about yourself. Instead, be a human. This is what I mean when I say that your superpower is the fact that you're not special. You have things that other people align with. And by definition, that means that there are other people out there like you. The concern starts becoming that if people aren't aligning with your brand, you don't want it to be because they don't know what your brand's about. They don't know who you are as a person. In that situation, that means that all potential new clients that are potentially considering you, they are going to fall under that audience category, and they're going to see you as a commodity, and you're going to have to try and make more noise in an oversaturated market than you're going to want, and you may have that race to the bottom. Versus the other side, to where people start learning what you're about, they see what you're about, they see the humanity side, they see your brand, and they want to associate with that brand because your brand is a mirror to what they stand for. And if that's the case, they're going to be calling you up and they are going to need you as a lawyer. Very different dynamic, and it's something that's such a powerful concept for us as a profession that we need to understand. Okay, that's all I have. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or if you just want to say hi, leave that in the comment section down below. With all that said, I'll see you in the next video.